And in fact, right now, Brooke is speaking with Kevin Costner as we speak. Let's listen in.
Hollywood star Kevin Costner is known for his decent and drama-free life. His marriage was never one to raise gossip and news on the internet until recently, when Kevin Costner became threatened by an outrageous statement made by his ex-wife, Christine Baumgartner.
Their schedule, it seemed to be, it was just too difficult for them to do it.
In the statement, his ex-wife threatens to take all of Kevin's money. In response, Kevin does the most unexpected thing and sets the internet on fire. What is Christine's intention and what will Kevin do about it? Join us as we unravel this jaw-dropping celebrity scandal. The surprising divorce. In May 2023, Kevin Costner was caught off guard when his former wife, Christine Baumgartner, filed for a divorce. The divorce, which was filed just 5 months away from their 19th wedding anniversary, came as a big shock to Kevin because everything seemed fine.
Well, as if Kevin Costner leaving Yellowstone wasn't a big enough shock for him and all of his fans.
In fact, Kevin was on location in Utah, far from their home in California, where he was busy with the filming of the hit series, Yellowstone, when he got the news of the divorce. While there has been no clear explanation from both parties on why Christine Baumgartner was filing for a divorce, Christine briefly cited in the divorce filing that she was doing so due to irreconcilable differences. However, sources claim that 49-year-old Christine was unhappy in their marriage. Her unhappiness may be linked to Kevin's busy schedules and unavailability, especially in recent years due to his large involvement in the TV hit series Yellowstone. Before you judge Kevin Costner, see how things turned out in the most unexpected way. Kevin, being a major character in the series, had spent a significant amount of his time on set, especially in 2023 and on other acting projects. Apparently, Christine wanted him to start spending more time with her and the kids. She probably expressed her plight a whole lot of times but never got him to yield. His burning passion certainly got the best of him that he didn't notice the weakening foundations of his marriage until tired Christine filed for a divorce. When news about their divorce got out, everyone was shocked. The sudden turn of events in the couple's life got fans and the media community talking, once again bringing attention to the constant failed marriages seen in the entertainment industry. It was all speculation and gossip until a representative of Kevin Costner released a joint statement confirming that the couple's marital story was coming to a sudden end. In the statement, he expressed how it was saddening that circumstances beyond Costner's control have transpired, which have resulted in him having to participate in a dissolution of marriage action. He added that they were asking that Costner's, Christine's, and their children's privacy be respected as they go through such a difficult time, even in the midst of their legal tension. Kevin Costner and estranged wife Christine Baumgartner both made it clear to the public that their main focus was on the custody and support for their 3 kids, Caden, aged 15, Hayes, aged 14, and only daughter Grace, aged 12. This seemed like a peaceful cooperation between the two despite the divorce, until Christine did something surprising. After filing for a divorce, Christine still refused to leave her marital home and continued to occupy the residence. According to their premarital agreement, however, she had 30 days to leave the house owned by Kevin Costner after filing for divorce. But Christine went against the agreement and remained in the residence after over a month of filing a divorce. She threatened to not leave the property until a proper child support had been put into order and accused Costner of being an inconsiderate father. Anyway, Costner made a request to the court asking that Christine be blocked from occupying his personal properties as they had agreed in their prenup. Christine was ordered by the judge to evacuate the residence by 31st of July. By the time Christine had evacuated Costner's home, she filed a petition on her filing of the 1st of May, requesting joint custody of the 3 children. The next day, Costner responded in agreement, requesting joint custody of the kids. They expressed that they didn't mind co-parenting, despite what had unfolded between them. What about child support for the children? Are they going to reach a peaceful agreement? Keep watching to find out. Christine Baumgartner had originally requested a whopping sum of $250,000 for child support, but the court turned it down and temporarily fixed it at $129,000 as of June 2023, leaving Costner stunned and Christine feeling victorious at the end of the day. Regardless of being granted a large settlement, Christine took a greedy step, demanding for an increase in the present $129,000. To the surprise of everyone, especially Costner, she requested an additional sum of $32,000. Her request filing, which did not include a request for spousal maintenance, was channeled in proving Costner's capability and the standard of living she wanted the children to continue with. She claimed Costner's 2022 income was over $19 million, and their family's expenses, excluding taxes, was $6,645,285. In addition to her claims, the family's net income after expenses and taxes was excluded was estimated at over $7 million. She also cited other expenses such as regular travel to the Caribbean, Hawaii, and Aspen, as well as regular hosting of guests, which required caterers. Baumgartner claimed in the filing that her financial demand is less than the amount needed to maintain the children in their accustomed lifestyle, and requested that Costner pay 100% of private school tuition, extracurricular activities or sports, and health care expenses for their 3 children.
I can describe them all based on one event. I had like 3-year-old girl, 4-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, and they're going to get their flu shot. And my 6-year-old boy is a brave boy. He's tough.
Caden, Hayes, and Grace. The events which took place afterwards will leave you speechless. Rising court battles. Proceedings up for the hearing requested by Christine's team for the $161,000 per month was held in Santa Barbara Court, California, where they both resided. Kevin Costner hired Laura Wasser, the celebrity divorce attorney who recently represented Kim Kardashian in her divorce from her husband Ye. On the other hand, Christine was represented by renowned divorce attorney John Rydell, known for specializing in high-profile cases, such as the current case with Kevin Costner. On that day, the courtroom was extremely tense. The rising dispute between both parties concerning child support was already making headlines. The main contention was the excessive child support Baumgartner was seeking for their 3 children. Asking for an additional $32,000 to her present $129,000 per month settlement temporarily fixed in June 2023 was something nobody ever saw coming. The hearing began with Christine's perspective. She contended that the new property she moved into after leaving Costner's luxurious apartment, which costs $40,000 per month, was not on the same level as Costner's $73 million beachfront residence. Crying, Christine expressed frustration that their new property lacked an ocean view as in Costner's residence. She complained the quality of life in their new home didn't compare to their old marital residence. Confidently, she adjusted her glasses while making the argument that the children should spend time with her in a beachside home costing $150,000 per month, a property she planned to rent after her 6-month lease ended. She said Costner's living expenses were up to $240,000 per month, and so he should be able to cover the demands. However, forensic accountant Tracy Katz noted that a significant portion of the costs she claimed to be Costner's expenses were actually hers. Katz shared a breakdown of the said $240,000 monthly expenses, which revealed that Christine spent an average of $18,000 per month on designer clothing and more than $3,000 per month on beauty products and treatments. On top of the substantial child support obligations, Baumgartner's group closed with a demand for Costner to also cover an estimated legal fee exceeding $800,000, after which Laura Wasser, the attorney for Kevin Costner, started their own hearing. She started by making a brief statement. She stated that Christine had made unreasonable money requests and dismissed the idea that the Costner kids care about ocean views or the things that happen in their father's Aspen ranch in their absence. Wasser informed the court that the Costner family does not lead a luxurious lifestyle.
And then we have to go do our jobs, and then we have to go get our kids at school, and then we have to go do something. But the movies have always been a place for us.
Typically associated with movie stars. He mentioned that the children do not wear designer clothes, drive expensive cars, and go to regular public schools. She informed the court that Costner no longer possesses his own personal aircraft and remarked that she has never ever encountered a child support claim of that magnitude, even in Los Angeles. Wasser and Costner also accused Christine of wanting to rely on child support payments for expenses even after receiving a $1.5 million payout upon divorce, as outlined in their prenuptial agreement. The attorney referred to Baumgartner's criticized new house as being amazing. She noted features in it similar to her former home. It included amenities such as a jacuzzi, which Costner's residence lacks. At the end, Wasser labeled Baumgartner's demands as outrageous and mentioned that a second trial will take place regarding the prenuptial agreement and her plea for spousal support. The second hearing revealed things we never expected. Second day of court battle. On the second day of hearing, Kevin Costner arrived in a fancy navy blue suit, looking professional and composed as usual. On the other side, Christine Baumgartner arrived with her legal team dressed in a classic black outfit and maintained a strong composure. In the courtroom, Kevin Costner expressed his dissatisfaction with the recent court order of $129,000. He conveyed his concern that the child support amount exceeded the reasonable needs of the children and was more of what Christine needed. In a sense, he'd indirectly be providing spousal support for Christine. He stated that the high financial demands could also deplete his funds rapidly, potentially leading him to accept jobs he did not want to accept and work longer hours than he desires. He added that he was facing challenges with his income due to a fallout from Yellowstone and a disappointing yield from his major film project Horizon, and so his future earnings might be unable to meet Christine's high demands. Also, he mentioned the risk of losing his properties in Aspen and California, which he had worked hard to build as havens for himself, his family, and friends. At last, the judge ruling the case, Thomas P. Anderley, considered both sides, particularly Costner's situation, and came to a final verdict. The child support earlier fixed at $129,000 per month was greatly slashed to $63,000 per month. Judge Anderley stated in a press release that Christine's demands were excessive and more than what the children would realistically require. The ruling brought the intense battle to a stop, leaving Costner victorious. However, Costner in an interview said they were no winners and claimed he still had love for his ex-wife Christine. If he still loved her, how did their marriage turn so sour? Their previous court battle in November raised new information that got everyone talking. Pay attention, because this information could give you an insight to what really brought the 19 years marriage to an abrupt end. So during the court battle, it became public that while Kevin Costner was in and out of town, Christine Baumgartner got entangled in an emotional relationship with their former next-door neighbor, who also is a friend to Kevin. The man had also recently divorced his wife. Apparently, Kevin Costner wasn't the only one burnt up in some passion. Kevin accused her of having an affair with the rich financier who we now know as Josh Connor. Christine, however, denied the accusations of having an affair with the man, saying Connor was a family friend, and their relationship was strictly platonic, and Connor was just an emotional support, being a divorced father. According to sources, even in the midst of their divorce proceedings, Christine had gone on an expensive vacation with the so-called family friend in July 2023. They were spotted at a beach in Hawaii, having a good time under the sun. Christine was seen in a purple dress and dark sunglasses walking right beside Connor, who was shirtless in a pair of shorts. They certainly looked like they were enjoying each other's company. Well, evidence countering their claims were sourced out, stating Christine had received $20,000 from Josh Connor. Christine's attorney, John Rydell, countered this by saying Connor lent Christine the money because she confided in him about her financial situation due to the divorce. She also added that Christine wasn't alone with Connor at Hawaii, but they were with the children and some friends. Even after their divorce was finalized, Christine and Connor were spotted outside being all lovey-dovey. A close friend of Christine says Josh was initially just a friend, and Christine liked hanging out with him. She added that he is a divorced dad and understands what she's going through. They both love the ocean and beach life, and it is something that makes Christine happy. Meanwhile, Costner is said to be dissatisfied and filled with bitterness due to the pair's relationship. A source told the National Enquirer that Kevin is extremely unhappy and resentful seeing Christine and Josh looking so happy and making plans for their future together.
Kevin Costner and his wife Christine going their separate ways after 18 years of marriage.
You don't know what people are going to feel.
A rep for the actor confirms the split in a statement, telling ET that due to circumstances beyond his control, Christine's dissolution of marriage filing is moving forward.
Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner's marriage ended. Ultimately, Baumgartner filed the divorce paperwork.
Kevin Costner's wife has just lost her place in his life. With months of silence after a very public and messy breakup, Christine Baumgartner, Kevin's now ex-wife, has made many eye-opening statements with surprising details about their marriage and divorce. Not only did she open up about the real problems that led to the end of their marriage, she also let the world know how she's faring as a new divorcee.
Christine Baumgartner have gone their separate ways after 18 years of marriage.
What exactly did she say, and what else has happened to her? Join us as we reveal the reasons behind their divorce and what has just happened to Christine Baumgartner, the start of the ex-couple's romance. After Kevin Costner ended his first marriage to Cindy, he went through a lot of different experiences in the dating world. Eventually, he found love again with Christine Baumgartner, who is a model and handbag designer. They started dating in 1998, and after being together for 6 years,
Kevin Costner is getting back into the dating scene. The 69-year-old actor recently bragged about knowing how to meet women.
They decided to get married. But little did they know they would end up parting ways like Kevin did with Cindy. Just a couple of years after their wedding, they welcomed their first child, Caden Wyatt, in February 2007. This happy moment was soon followed by the birth of their second son, Hayes Logan, in February 2009, and then their daughter, Grace Avery, who came along in June 2016. Now, Kevin's family includes not only his kids with Christine, but also his 4 older children from previous relationships: Annie, Lily, Joe, and Liam. While sparks were still flying between the ex-couple, in interviews, Kevin often shared how much he appreciates Christine and how they built a lively and loving home together. In fact, in November 2 years ago, he shared his heartfelt feelings about Christine in a statement to the media, saying that his wife did things that made a huge difference in their lives. He mentioned that she made their home more beautiful and warm. He believed that her little actions were a reflection of love and that she had a special way of making their home feel inviting. This showed how strong their bond was and how much he appreciated having her by his side. But their seemingly perfect family life suddenly had one unexpected problem.
Kevin Costner is getting candid about the difficulties he's faced amid his recent divorce and his work life.
In early May last year, a spokesperson for the actor known for Field of Dreams confirmed to the media that he and Baumgartner were going their separate ways after she filed for divorce.
Kevin Costner is breaking his silence amid his divorce from Christine Baumgartner.
This news surprised many fans who admired their relationship. Although the exact date of their split wasn't immediately made public, later court documents indicated that Baumgartner had stated they separated on April 11th. In her divorce filing, she mentioned that they had irreconcilable differences as the reason for their breakup. But how bad were these differences that they had to resort to a divorce? Keep watching because you'll be shocked to know what finally broke the camel's back for the ex-couple. The news about Kevin Costner's situation stirred a lot of sympathy for him as he faced the end of an important part of his life. In early May last year, Christine Baumgartner officially started the divorce process from Costner, which kicked off a complicated legal journey. When she filed for divorce on May 1st, she asked for joint custody of their 3 kids, Caden, Hayes, and Grace. This showed that she wanted to work together with Costner in raising their children, even though they were going through a separation. The day after, Costner replied to her filing, agreeing with her request for joint custody and stating that they had irreconcilable differences that led to their split. This shared decision about custody showed that both parents were focused on what was best for their kids during this tough time. In his legal response, Costner brought up a prenuptial agreement that laid out how they would handle spousal support, legal fees, and dividing their property. This prenup was especially important because of Costner's past divorce from Cindy Silva, which reportedly cost him around $80 million. His legal team explained that he had separate property, which included various personal items like jewelry and other belongings, as well as his earnings and assets that he had before, during, and after their marriage, all according to their premarital agreement. Costner's team mentioned that, based on their prenup, Baumgartner would have to leave his separate properties. This information showed the legal guidelines both of them would follow as they went through their separation. So was the divorce something they both agreed on? Well, even with the issues they were having, sources close to Costner shared that he didn't want the divorce and wasn't looking for it. He was reported to be really affected by what was happening and would have liked to find a way to keep the marriage going. just 2 days after Baumgartner filed for divorce.
Costner and Christine Baumgartner are putting on a united front following their bumpy breakup 4 months after the Yellowstone actor's wife filed to end their 18-year marriage.
She was seen in Santa Barbara without her wedding ring, which hinted that she was starting a new chapter in her life too. This moment caught the media's eye and made the public realize that the couple's marriage was officially over. Then, just 3 days after the divorce papers were filed, the media had more shocking news to share about Kevin Costner, the end of Kevin's famous on-screen character. An announcement was made that Taylor Sheridan's hit show Yellowstone would end after its 5th season. Fans started to wonder if there was a link between the two happenings, but it was made clear that the timing was just a coincidence and had nothing to do with the split between Costner and Baumgartner. Kevin Costner was reportedly taken by surprise when he learned about Christine Baumgartner's decision to file for divorce. Although he knew she was feeling unhappy, the actual filing was unexpected and pointed out some issues that had been brewing between them. It seems that Costner's busy work schedule played a big role in their relationship troubles, as Baumgartner found it tough to cope with his frequent absences. An insider mentioned that Christine wished they could spend more time together at their Santa Barbara home, explaining that Kevin's long hours on set made it hard for her. As he focused more on his projects, Baumgartner's desire for quality time with him only grew stronger. Kevin Costner's intense dedication to his film Horizon had become a major focus for him.
Kevin Costner's new Western epic, Horizon: An American Saga Chapter 1, is being slammed by critics following its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival,
consuming much of his time and energy since the previous year. An insider shared that Christine was not happy with him diving into another project, noting that he had been fixated on filming Horizon for quite a while. This strong obsession started to affect their relationship, leading to Baumgartner feeling increasingly unhappy. Another source pointed out that Costner's career often overshadowed his home life, as the success of Yellowstone and other projects meant he spent long periods away from home, which created emotional distance between him and his family. The source explained that his career had frequently taken priority over his family life, resulting in him being away for extended stretches due to filming commitments. As the pressure from his professional responsibilities grew, it clashed with Baumgartner's wish for a stable family life. An entertainment insider mentioned that all the success and excitement surrounding his new project likely distracted him from his family more than he realized. This neglect, combined with the uncertainty of their situation, added to the rising tension in their home. Then, in June, a significant development occurred in Kevin Costner's highly publicized divorce from Christine Baumgartner, as court documents revealed more disputes related to their separation. Costner mentioned in the documents that, based on their prenuptial agreement, Baumgartner was supposed to leave the house he owns within 30 days after she filed for divorce on May 1st. But that time limit has already passed, and it seems Baumgartner is still living there, which has caused more tension between them. The situation became more complicated when there were claims that Baumgartner was staying put to push for various financial requests from Costner. Even with these issues, a source shared that Costner had shown some kindness by giving Baumgartner an extra $1 million beyond what their prenuptial agreement required. He also offered to help with $10,000 for her moving costs and $30,000 each month to help with her rent. On the other hand, Baumgartner's lawyers pushed back against Costner's actions. Attorney John Rydell pointed out in court documents that Costner couldn't legally force her and their 3 kids out of the home where they have all lived together. Rydell stressed how important this situation is emotionally, saying that asking to remove Baumgartner and the kids from their family home is not just legally wrong, but also a serious matter for them. He stated that this request aims to kick Christine and their 3 children out of the house that has been their home for their entire lives. A source close to Costner shared with the media that it's not fair to involve the kids in this situation. They emphasized that the matter has nothing to do with the children, claiming that their foundation is strong. The source mentioned that Kevin has done everything possible to help Christine find a good place to live. In the ongoing legal case between Baumgartner and Costner, Documents from Baumgartner's lawyers revealed that she is seeking an impressive $248,000 each month for child support.
Christine is requesting that Kevin provide $248,000 a month in child support for their 3 teenagers, as well as continue covering the cost of their health care.
This request is not just for one child, but covers all 3 of their kids, Caden, Hayes, and Grace. The paperwork made it clear that this amount is necessary to keep up the lifestyle the children were accustomed to during their parents' marriage. Baumgartner said that this monthly support figure is actually less than what is needed to maintain their usual way of living. Apart from the monthly support, she is asking for Costner to pay for all extra expenses, which include private school fees, costs for sports and other activities, as well as all medical expenses for their kids. Notably, her request does not include any spousal support, and this shows that Baumgartner is concentrating entirely on the children's needs. It gets more serious. A legal document was submitted to the Superior Court of California, which is in Santa Barbara County. This is important because both sides have a lot at stake in this matter. The papers also showed some surprising financial details about Costner's earnings and the family's spending. In 2022, Kevin Costner made an impressive total of $19,517,064. On the other hand, the family's yearly expenses, not counting taxes, were reported to be $6,645,285. After taking out all the expenses and taxes, their net income for that year was around $7,595,520. The expenses listed in the documents suggest they live a very luxurious lifestyle, with regular vacations to places like the Caribbean, Hawaii, and Aspen. They frequently host guests, which means they often hire caterers or chefs. Additionally, maintaining their several large properties costs them about $2 million each year. Interestingly, earlier court documents from Costner's team mentioned that he had agreed to pay child support of $38,000 every month. This arrangement also included covering all kinds of child-related expenses, such as private school tuition, books, fees, uniforms, and school trips, as well as costs for the kids' sports, camps, and other agreed-upon activities. Costner is in charge of covering health insurance, any medical costs that aren't reimbursed, and therapy expenses for the kids. He also mentioned in court papers that he had already given Baumgartner $1 million, which was part of their premarital agreement. When responding to Baumgartner's request for child support, Costner called her demands over the top and not backed up by facts.
Kevin Costner scoring a legal win over his estranged wife in their child support battle. A California judge reducing the Yellowstone actor's monthly payments to $63,000.
The documents showed that the standard monthly child support based on his available income should be about $123,620. Costner raised concerns about the lifestyle expectations in Baumgartner's request, saying that taking care of the kids doesn't mean he has to provide for extravagant things that mainly benefit her. In legal documents filed on June 30th, Costner's lawyers accused Baumgartner of making weak arguments to support her claims. They asked her to move out of the home they had shared, insisting that she should leave his property by July 13th last year. This request came during a tough time for both of them as they dealt with the emotional challenges of their separation. The judge in charge of the case decided that Baumgartner has to move out of the shared property, which is worth a whopping $145 million, by the end of the same month. During a meeting on the 5th of that month, Judge Thomas Anderell turned down Baumgartner's request to stay in the house until August. After the judge's decision, Costner changed his proposed child support payment, making it higher. Still, Baumgartner thought the new amount of $51,940 a month was totally inappropriate. Her legal team argued that even though Costner has a lot of money and makes a huge income, he seems to want their kids to live a much lower lifestyle, especially when they are with their mom. Baumgartner's lawyers particularly mentioned the differences in their living situations. They pointed out that while Costner lives in a beachside property worth over $100 million, and spends around $240,000 a month on himself, He expects Baumgartner and their kids to get by on just 20% of that amount. Baumgartner's team also believes that a fairer child support amount would be $217,300. They argued that the kids have usually spent a lot more time with Baumgartner because Costner often has to work out of town. There's more. Christine Baumgartner, divorce demands. Baumgartner is not just asking for child support. She's also looking for an advance of $350,000 to pay for her lawyer and another $150,000 to handle forensic costs tied to their ongoing legal issues.
Christine claimed to be broke during her testimony and does not know how to afford groceries for their 3 kids. She is asking for just over $160,000 a month.
This whole situation really shows how complicated their financial talks are and the emotional stress that comes with a high-profile divorce. Both parents are trying hard to meet their kids' needs while also dealing with their own hopes and the reality of their situation. On the legal side, after discussing child support, Costner has officially asked Baumgartner to pay his legal fees, which total $99,225. A court date was set for August 2nd, where they both shared their sides of the story. Their prenuptial agreement includes a rule that if one of them hires a lawyer to enforce or stop a breach of the agreement, the winning party can get back all the costs from the losing party. This is important because it could lead to financial consequences depending on how their legal battles turn out. In his filing, Costner also reminded the court about the $1.5 million he has saved for Baumgartner, as mentioned in their prenuptial agreement. Baumgartner mentioned that she's really unsure about tapping into these funds because she worries it could hurt her legal standing in the divorce that's currently happening. While all this is going on, the judge in charge of the case has decided to increase Costner's temporary monthly child support payments to $129,755. But the judge turned down Costner's lawyer's request to resolve the child support matters before the trial, which is set to look into whether the couple's prenuptial agreement can be challenged on November 27th. To make things even more complicated, Costner's legal team has asked for an extra 10 days to go through almost 9,000 pages of forensic accounting documents before the trial starts. This detailed review is really important because it could have a big impact on the financial aspects of the case. With so much at stake, both sides are trying to prepare as thoroughly as possible for what lies ahead. Then the judge recently mentioned that there probably won't be a hearing about child support anytime soon, which means the current decision will stay in place for now.
The divorce war that would not end just ended. Kevin Costner and his ex Christine surprised everybody by settling their $400 million breakup.
This decision is retroactive, so if anything changes in the final ruling, child support payments will need to be made starting from July 1st. On July 28th, Christine Baumgartner officially left the home she shared with Kevin Costner, just before the deadline set by the court. This was a big move in their ongoing divorce. After she moved out, her lawyer quickly asked Costner to share detailed information about all his business activities, including financial details about his movie, Horizon. In a very tense back and forth, Baumgartner's legal team accused Costner of hiding information and making it hard for them to prepare for the upcoming child support hearing and the trial about their prenuptial agreement. On the other hand, Costner's lawyer called the request for documents burdensome, oppressive, and harassing, showing how the situation is getting more heated between them. During a child support hearing on August 31st, Baumgartner's lawyer, John Rydell, strongly argued that their children have grown used to a very comfortable lifestyle, mentioning the sports they do and the many properties the family has. Baumgartner got really emotional while showing photos as evidence in court. She spoke with a trembling voice and said that it was more than just pictures. It was an experience. She called the Santa Barbara place she had just left ours. It was clear that this meant a lot to her, and she wanted everyone to understand the depth of that connection. That's not all. What's even more interesting about all of this is that Costner and Baumgartner showed their vulnerable sides during their testimonies, sharing their feelings and hopes for the future after their breakup. Baumgartner talked about thinking of going back to school to get a college degree, saying she wanted to prepare for a new chapter in her life. She mentioned that she would look into what steps she needed to take and any schooling required. and she planned to enter the workforce, showing her determination to be independent and support herself. When Kevin Costner took the stand, he shared how much the breakup has affected him emotionally, saying that his life has been a bit turned upside down. He talked about his future plans and recognized that he needs to focus on his current commitments and duties. He mentioned that he has a lot of responsibilities that he needs to manage. Costner also said he really wishes to be more involved with his kids during this tough time, stating that he needs to find a way to spend more time with them and help them through this situation. He also pointed out the importance of taking some time for himself, noting that he has a lot to think about regarding what he needs to do compared to what he wants to do. As for how everything wrapped up, after a long and difficult legal fight, Kevin Costner was ordered to pay his ex-wife, Christine Baumgartner, a monthly child support amount of $63,209.
Kevin Costner scoring a legal win over his estranged wife in their child support battle. A California judge reducing the Yellowstone actor's monthly payments to $63,000.
This ruling came after a 2-day court session in Santa Barbara, where the judge considered the arguments and financial situations of both sides before making a decision. During a lunch break in the middle of the hearings, a reporter inquired if Costner still had any feelings for Baumgartner. He replied honestly, indicating that he definitely did. This response suggested that even though they were going through a tough legal battle, there was still some care left between them, hinting at the complicated emotions tied to their breakup. In a very unexpected turn of events, the court decided that Baumgartner would need to pay a part of Costner's divorce lawyer fees, which totaled $14,237.50. This ruling was part of Judge Thomas Anderley's decision on September 6th, which required Baumgartner to cover these expenses, as Costner sought clarification on how she understood their prenuptial agreement. After a long period of legal disputes, the couple finally reached a settlement for their divorce. Their seemingly unending discussions came to an end. Then fast forward to February this year, after many ups and downs in court, Costner and Baumgartner officially completed their divorce. Both of them asked to skip a required co-parenting class as they wanted to move on with their lives separately while still taking care of their 3 kids. As they learn to co-parent, Christine Baumgartner has adjusted to her new life as Kevin Costner's ex-wife, as she is now dating John Connor.
A household name in many countries, its influence rather goes beyond that. Normally, certain features set cyborgs apart. One is that unlike androids, cyborgs collect data from its users and digest it to improve the next service, thereby improving its service. That means it's an open loop in the true sense of the word. This feature's not far-fetched, as a hybrid invention with enhanced capabilities and incorporated synthetic technology plausible. Put beside a human being, cyborgs will learn faster. The second one is mecha. The name mecha suggests everything in the present-day world related to automobiles, train stations, and heavily mechanical things. But it can also mean humanoids. Rather than being an all-out robot, it looks more like a controlled car as its center of control, usually placed in the chest or on the head, shows no guarantee of the full autonomy a cyborg enjoys. But one thing many have found interesting about this robot is that it looks like a human being, especially when you look at its limbs and faces. Third on our list is Nadine. Nadine is a robot modeled after Professor Nadia Magananthalman, from whom she got her name. The robot has a human-like tendency, and she's described as being fun to be with. Without constraint, she responds to greetings and remembers past conversations so that she could strike up another one right from where you ended it the other time. She looks so much like her that you may find it hard to see a difference between it and the professor. Developed mainly by Kokoro, a Japanese company, the robot looks like the person she's modeled after. The fourth one is, you've probably heard of it before, Geminoid DK. As Nadine was modeled after a human being, this one is modeled after a real human being too, just that this time around it's Henry Schaaf. This robot is described as ultra-realistic, and Schaaf was so invested in its making that he donated some of his hair. Made by Kokoro and Osaka University, the robot's behavior imitates the character of its model so much that many would have, like in the other case mentioned, take it for him. Really, the fifth is Cassie. It's a robot made by Oregon State University with bipedaling ability. In fact, its ability to bipedal dwarfs that of humans, which is even the goal. It was originally thought that if such a thing could be made, it could help in some rescue missions, especially during natural disasters. Plus, it can also be used to deliver goods and services from door to door. Apparently, one of the economic reasons it was made. It's been tested under harsh conditions, and success has been the whole story. Toshiba is the sixth one. The robot works for a tourist center in Tokyo. Before the attainment of the full features of a humanoid, the robot had been able to function by only programmed scripts. If you asked it questions, it wouldn't answer. As long as it does not relate to what is programmed, in 2017 it was upgraded, and that was when it became a real humanoid. It can now recognize faces, ask questions, and answer some. Seventh, Jia. Made in Beijing, this realistic robot has been sensational for a long time. The Chinese University of Technology's brainchild has dazzled many individuals from every walk of life. This elegant robot's speech is synced with the sound of its mouth, and unlike some other robots, she can move her hands as she likes in the sky. The robot can also engage you in conversations and listen to instructions as you relay them, while she can also tell you what she doesn't like. She once told someone at a conference she doesn't like her picture being taken while they're close. Now to the eighth one, which also doubles as people's favorite, Sophia. Released in 2011, this robot's been the craze of the whole world. Currently, she runs her own Facebook page and has ways to go against some of the humans' darker thoughts about AI. Her abilities range from being able to socially interact to adept intelligence and answering deep questions. Sophia is probably the most successful humanoid on Earth currently. She's modeled after Audrey Hepburn. Number 9 comes from that beautiful place of modern civilization, not Venice. It is Italy itself, but the specific place this time is Naples, straight from its university. Brillo is a humanoid bartender who can make you a superb cocktail and remembers your drink. Quite impressive. It can also make you laugh for a while. Attempts are being made to develop it into a humanoid that differentiates between jokes and serious statements. Number 10. NASA robot called Robonaut, nicknamed Nimble Robot. This robot is designed to be an engineer and has been used by NASA several times. This robot has a face like that of a human, a torso like a human, and hands like us. Its hands are so nimble, as its name suggests, that it can move many things most engineers cannot. Fortunately, this robot can also think for itself. This is why NASA is increasingly considering it for its activities on the International Space Station. It certainly will work. Number 11. Walter X. This one is also humanoid and two-legged. It's been so upgraded that its physical ability is without comparison. Apart from that, its autonomous intelligence and ability to interact with people are surprising. As of now, it's so advanced that it can do such tasks as pouring tea, trimming the garden, watering plants, and vacuuming. Plus, the robot can also confidently climb a staircase that can only be likened to humans. Meanwhile, it can also visually discover things that human eyes could bypass, but let's leave that. With that ability, are humans still useful? 12 is Pepper, manufactured by SoftBank Limited. It's the first robot that can recognize human faces comfortably. It can also work well with people. For instance, it's good at communication that involves deeper ones, but it's nevertheless limited in most cases. Meanwhile, that shortcoming has kept large business organizations from acquiring or even acquiring it. It carries something like a cockpit, listing all your possible questions on its chest. It's such a great robot that knows the business. Number 13 is a spot used in archaeological sites in Italy, especially Pompeii. It detects hazards posed by the ancient bricks and underground tunnels built to steal the ancient ruins in the place. The 14th one is Tiger X1. This robot is an attempt by a company of the same name. The design is that the robot should look like a Hyundai with abilities to move like a human being. Tiger X has been mouthing this for years, but this time we're surprised, and we will still be surprised. They are partnering with Boston Dynamics. The Hyundai should look like a Hyundai that's operated on 4 electric wheels, and when that's not needed on the road, should be capable of being folded. No one knows how this will be reached, but there's no denying that Boston, which has been making a lot of robots that could dance and do other things, would find that hard to do. It's a done deal, and it's rivaling humans too. The 15th one is the bird robot. Have you ever thought of roving the sky when you were young? This robot is a dream made true. After its creator studied birds, they figured out they flew so heartlessly in the sky as some humans work mindlessly here. They also figured out that their legs are made for landing no matter where they're coming down from. To make a robot that could do just that, they had to sample the greatest flying bird currently, peregrine. They used one of the legs of one of their kind for the robots. Instead of human tendons, they used meteors and fishing lines. The 16th one was made by Stanford University. It's called Ocean 1K. Have you ever seen a situation where an airplane crashed to the extent it can no longer be saved by humans? Have you ever seen a situation where the shipwreck is so massive that no one's ready to risk it? That's exactly the reason this one's built. It's built so that it can swim like a fish and master the oceans, and also be able to save people from airplane burning and so on. Its eyes are made to see in 3D, so it can always get the full picture of any concerned area, not excluding underwater. It also has robotic tactile energy. Anybody operating it can feel like they're in front of the water. Number 17. You wouldn't believe it, but some people are fascinated with kangaroos. Very interestingly, some companies have done elite research into the jumping power of the kangaroo. They found that a kangaroo can jump about 25 to 30 feet high per jump without losing energy, meaning that the beautiful animal can still run immediately after. This has led to the creation of the bionic kangaroo, which is made to jump the same way. Its body, unlike other robots, is made with foam, and it has plastic tendons that get stronger on landing, like the kangaroo, to get even stronger. Number 18 is the Hadrian X robot. This robot is the first robot that can do real mechanical human work, and very well. Although they would like it to be able to communicate, nevertheless this one is not made to communicate. It's rather made for bricklaying. Per what is current, it can lay bricks 10 times faster than a human being. Instead of houses taking a week, it can build a house within 2 to 3 days. And the plus is that it doesn't even have to rest at night. It'll just continue that way, except for some things needed. The catch is, it can measure the number of blocks that will be enough to build a house. It's usually set on top of a trunk to make navigating easy. Number 19 are Atlas robots. These ones are made in such a way as to lift weights and do gymnastic activities. In fact, they're supposed to be adept at ancient and modern fighting skills and techniques, thinking karate, judo, and boxing in real time. They're rather made like people. That is, they're humanoids. Tesla is making something like that too, but it's not happening anytime soon if you're waiting for Tesla versus Atlas. Then, the 20th robots are liquid metal robots. As if taken straight from Terminator, these robots can move from a solid state to a liquid state, and vice versa. Maybe to mock Terminators, one of their scientists, Charles Feng from Hong Kong University, put it inside a prison, and the thing escaped. There's no denying the fact that they will be useful in warfare. Thanks for watching till the end. Which robots did you find the most interesting? Do you agree that Sophia is the most advanced of them all? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Please remember to like and subscribe.